Good morning, Chiang Mai! So we got in to Chiang Mai in the early morning, and when we got to the hotel, they weren't quite ready for us to check in. So we talked with our taxi driver, and he agreed to take us around for the rest of the day. We got to visit 2 different Buddhist temples. The first one was Wat Umong. It was quite a big temple. It was fairly spread out across the area, so we really got to get a good feel of walking around the temple and experiencing the different ways that the locals practice Buddhism.
The Wat Umong was really cool too because it was a series of tunnels that they have where they have different Buddhas set out around the place underground basically. And then after that, our taxi driver took us to Doi Suthep, which was a really big temple above ground this time. So this was on top of a mountain, and you either got the choice of climbing really big set of stairs, which was around 80 to 90 steps of stairs, or you could take the gondola up. So as we chose the gondola. And we went up there and we spent some time there, and it was just so pretty to see all the gold and the jade Buddhas that they have. And then after, we were able to check into our hotel. The next day was the best part of Chiang Mai, I have to say, because I love elephants, and that was what we got to do for the entire morning, was spend time with elephants. So I fell in love all over again. We got to go to an elephant sanctuary where they take care of the elephants that were used for tourist riding and logging camps and rehabilitate them, care for them, and make sure they have all the medical attention that they will need to get back to better health. We dressed in traditional wear, and then we had to fill up our sacks right up to the brim. They made sure our bags were filled right up to the brim because they told us that the elephants will actually come to our bags and put their trunks in our bags and like eat from there. But we were able to feed the elephants bananas and pumpkins, and they basically allow for tourists to come in and feed them and play with them in the mud, which was also a lot of fun, and then bathe with them after. But there was no sort of riding allowed because Thailand is getting into a practice where they don't want to show any form of riding like that anymore because it's just torturing for the animals. There was no sort of pushing by the guides using whips or any types of sticks to show that the elephants had to be with us for that amount of time. They were allowed to be wherever they wanted. After they were fed, they could go take a bath, they could go play in the mud, they could do whatever they wanted, but then we were still able to have fun with the people that we were with as well too. So it was an awesome experience to be with the elephants, to play with them in the mud, to bathe with them. And then after all of this, we were able to learn how to make really yummy Thai soup. So all in all, this was a great day.
Later that evening, we got to go and experience our first Asian night market. It was a challenge to navigate the hustle and bustle of the market, but we were able to get our hands on some very cool souvenirs as well as some street food. We started the next day with an early, sleepy drive to the Doi Ethanon National Park. We got to start off the day by checking out 2 spectacular waterfalls, as well as enjoying a lunch at the second set of falls. The second waterfall offered more places to venture, and we ended up making our way down right to the water's edge, where we got to experience the sheer power of the river.
Okay, so we gotta pause for a second. On top of doing this tour, we were extremely super stressed out with applying for a quick visa to get into Vietnam, which we realized we needed before entering the country. And on top of this, we were leaving for Vietnam the next day. So we were constantly checking our phone to make sure our visa went through, and thank God it did. We made it, we're good, we're fine. Part of our tour was to visit a local village where they make handcrafted souvenirs as well as scarves, and as well they sell their own coffee and ground their own coffee, which we got to try out for ourselves as well.
We found our way to the highest point in Thailand, which was colder than the lowland. The temperature at the highest point was 15 degrees Celsius. We got to do a walk around the forest up at the highest point, and the guide informed us that the forest we were venturing through was tens of thousands of years old. There was moss all over the trees, and as well as the shrines throughout the forest. Our last leg of the tour took us to the Twin Pagodas, built for one of the early kings and queens who ruled Thailand. With an amazing view, we walked through their botanical gardens and entered into the sacred temples to honor them. In general, when entering temples across Thailand, it's respectful for the women to make sure to cover their shoulders and knees, and for everyone to remove their footwear when entering the temple.
Our next stop, Hanoi and Halong Bay. Are you coming along with us? No? You aren't? Then be sure to keep up with us on our next vlog.